but we can't do that. But when they play, these teams are going to get money from their regional networks. That money doesn't go to the players. That's the owner's money. Mm-hmm. There's no fans in the stands, so the merchandising and stuff like that, where the Play Association gets a cut of that, that's going to be non-existent. So all the money that's going to be made is going to the owner's pockets, as usual. And they say, well, we have debt and this and the other. Okay, your debt service is your business. Nobody told you to check out all those loans against the team. Right. Okay? Nobody told you that you wanted to build Disneyland outside your ballpark. That was your choice. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. You know, baseball, as much as people cry about baseball dying, baseball franchises are appreciating in value every single year.
Right. Yeah.
Okay?
Listen, none of these organizations, from the NHL to the NBA to Major League Baseball to the NFL, nobody's losing money. Actually, and also baseball will still make money off of merchandise revenue. They have their own network. They're still showing games. Teams have their own network, so they're showing retro games, which means you're still getting money from advertising dollars.
Mm-hmm.
People still buying jerseys and paraphernalia from teams. That ain't stopped.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
It might have slowed down, but it ain't stopped.
Right. So this comes down to owners being greedy as usual, but again, the water carriers in sports media, the players should. There were so many people out of work. How could Blake Snell talk about he don't want to get he needs his money? Listen, Blake Snell getting his full contract ain't going to change the fact that 30 million people is out of work.
Right.
Blake Snell not getting paid isn't going to change the fact that 30 million people are out of work. Mm-hmm. I mean, are they going to give the money they don't give Blake Snell? Are they going to give that to those people that are unemployed?
Right.
Are they going to give it to somebody who needs to save their house because they can't pay their mortgage? Unless they're going to do that with his check, then how do you criticize him for talking about, well, how could he say that when all these people are out of work? The fuck they got to do with him?
Right. I wasn't mad at him. I'm like, you right. I feel the same way, bro. You know.
Yeah, all day. They made some nice money on those COVID masks as well. But think about this, because I don't think this is being talked about enough. With not enough entertainment really out there, and people kind of ran through everything they could watch on Netflix and whatever their chosen little platform is.
Right.
When any of these sports kick off, we're going to see unprecedented ratings.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
Of course, you won't have the crowd revenue. But think about what type of ratings we're talking about. Dude, I'm watching Korean baseball. So I know if I'm watching Korean baseball, when we actually get American sports back online, like the ratings are going to be stupid. So there's no telling what they're going to be negotiating. And then like the other point Chandler's hitting on when it comes to negotiations, they want to treat this season as a way to kind of buffer their negotiations later. As you see with the NBA where they talked about, because it's going to be less money, they're going to use that going forward as far as salary cap and as far as, the amount of revenue they make. Baseball's trying to play that same con game. And as Chandler said, when they list these streams of revenue differently, let's say the parking is handled by such and such company, which is under the umbrella of the owner of the team. And, other different aspects work in that same fashion. So they can show you their books and say, hey, I lost money. Okay, you lost money, but what about all your 5 subsidiaries put together? Did you lose money there? Well, we ain't talking about that. That's my business. So, and remember, when it started, they came out and they played the old con game they play on stupid fans where, they went to the whole salt of the earth thing. Hey, man, you should just play for the love of the game, and these players are greedy. And the fans fell for it, of course, put the owners in a stronger negotiation position. And now when we're getting towards reasonable deals, you know what I'm saying, the players are kind of bending a little bit, and I think they're going to end up taking a much bigger haircut than they should. But overall, it's because of the PR power of, the ownership. And as Chandler said, the water carriers on sports media who take on talking points because they want access and, to be able to interview the team and the players and to go to games and all of that. So because of that, they go out there and they lay the narrative down. And fans eat it up every single time, man. It's sad because fans, for some reason, can never position themselves as the employees. When it's like, dude, don't you know that's what happened to you in your industry when your union got his ass kicked? It's the same thing. So why are you sitting here cheering for the luxury boxes? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
In that first story you gave, I was in the Uber, so I couldn't comment. The first story you gave, that's a slam dunk case. The reason you ain't seeing it talked about right now is because they negotiating how much they're going to have to pay. Whatever buildings were put up during his tenure there, they're going to lose all, like, whatever he put in is going to come out.
Well, you know what?
Of that lawsuit. Like,
you know what? I'm going to say, you know, having gone to that school, the baseball team doesn't generate as much money as football and basketball. They're a division. Well, when I went there, they were a Division II school. They might be Division I baseball. I'm not sure.
They are. They are.
Okay, and the baseball team right now, he has a good program, or he had a good program.
Yeah, had a good program. He's done. That's lack of institutional control. Not only did you lose your temper and hit this kid, you didn't check on him afterwards, take him to the hospital, and do all the necessary things needed. That means you shouldn't be in charge of young men. So already you're taking an L there. Then when you talk about a laceration on the face and you gave him a towel, or an assistant gave him a towel, that means you know how badly he was hit. And you said, I was mad, so I didn't go back and take care of the situation. Like, nah, bruh. Like, y'all about to take an ugly L in court. And when you think about it, somebody like Rick Pitino or one of those guys, man, they would have sugared their way around that one. They'd have kept, look, man, we're going to get you playing next year. You're a real good player. I really believe in you. Man, they'd have talked their way out of that. He probably wouldn't even told his family. But this dude, like, I'm just saying, coaches have a lot of power and they can be persuasive. A better coach would have conned their way out of this. This dude here, like, that's crazy.
Not even con. It's smart business. If I hit a player, okay, I don't think this kid was a star, but get him better housing. Put him in the best dorm, or put him in one of the best houses on campus. You know? And like you said,
Nick Saban would have sat down with that kid for breakfast and turned it into some kind of talk about manhood and overcoming obstacles. And man, he'd have talked that kid. He'd have talked that kid all the way out of a lawsuit. There would have been no issue. Yeah. So, a man will handle his, situations. He won't call mama and daddy and cry every time things get tough. Like, he'd have worked his way around that. But, yeah, that dude's done, man.
Yeah, he got to hold the L on that one. You lost your temper. Like Chandler said, let me ask you this, Chandler. When you threw the chair, you hit somebody? Or did you?
Yes. No, I hit him.
Okay.
Damn it,
Were you trying to hit him?
Nope.
No, you
just.
Okay. Did you apologize to him? Did you make sure he was okay? And I understand if you got repercussions after it.
Initially, no, I didn't. And that's why I said I can totally relate. But I was 18, okay?
Right.
I was allowed to be a dumbass at 18.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. You're a 50-year-old man. You shouldn't be doing that.
Right. Right.
That's a crazy story.
How long? Well, let me ask you this. How long did it take for you to cool
off? Honestly, I didn't really realize what I had done till the next day.
Okay.
And then I came in the next day, and I saw him, and then I tried to apologize. He wasn't having it. Dude, it took like 3 months for him to even speak to me again. Okay?
Right. I can understand that.
So can I?
But
he was a little tight.
I can imagine. But yeah, Coach Manning. I mean, what was running through your mind? Like you said, Chandler. If he lost his temper like that, he's lost his temper before, and maybe nothing happened. There were no incidents of note like this, but he's probably thrown a chair before. He's probably smashed a clipboard or broke his headphones or something like that. And
he's run that program through terror.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a gag order. Like, are they allowing him to go anywhere and do interviews, anything like that? Because a dude like that can get on the radio and start talking about how, well, back in my day, things happened and you just got up. You know what I'm saying? He could easily be one of those guys at this point.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay. You finished with baseball? Y'all finished with baseball?
Yeah.
Okay. New York Knicks have interviewed quietly for the head coaching job. They interviewed Mike Woodson. I would be in favor of Mike Woodson coming back because he's an adult. He's a good coach. He adapts to the situation and the players that he has. And he, although an older man, because he's older than me and you, Chandler, he relates well to younger players. And he develops younger players. So I would be in favor if they could agree to hire him and the money is right for him, he could come back. Also, this I did not know, and maybe y'all didn't know, that when they hired Fizdale, they wanted to bring him in as an assistant coach. And Fizdale didn't have a problem because he worked under Mike Woodson in Atlanta when Mike Woodson was the head coach at Atlanta, where he had a very good record. That team, when he was there, they always got better progressively every year he coached. With the Knicks, he's the last coach to have a winning record. Steve Mills was against bringing him in as an assistant because he felt that maybe our fan base would try to sandbag Fizdale and say, when things go south, we want Mike Woodson in.
We would have done that.
If he was smart, because when you look at Fizdale's assistant coaches, he didn't have anybody with a track record as an assistant or as a head coach who had a long-standing track record. He had a lot of newbies on his roster of coaches and guys who weren't, in my opinion, they weren't able to handle what he needed to be handled, as assistant coaches.
Right.
Y'all think this is a good deal?
I do. I mean, I like Woodson. Let me say this, and I don't give Steve Mills credit very often. I don't think I've ever actually given him credit. I think he was right in that because, dude, think about the Knicks fan base. And think about how ass backwards the Knicks fan base is. The first 2-game losing streak, what would have been the stories in the Post and the news?
The coaches are incompetent. Why'd you hire those two incompetent Negroes? But they wouldn't have said it that openly.
Right.
But vaguely, that's what they would have said.
Right. Or why do you got Woodson right there. Fizdale can't hack it. Right. So he was actually, there was too many narratives that would have went against Fizdale with Woodson there. And Woodson wouldn't have actively worked against them. But it just would, it because Woodson has so much goodwill with Knicks fans, you would kind of would have been setting Fizdale up to fail. Instead, you let him fail on his own, which I like because he failed on his own. But what this dude Leon Rose is doing, I don't like the fact that he's not being transparent. That's same old Knicks. But if you look at what he's done in the front office, the people he's brought in, he's brought in competent professionals. How often have we said that about the Knicks and their front office, having competent professionals? Those words don't usually go with the Knicks. He's brought in competent, professional, good guys who are good at their jobs.
Right. And also they're not angling to do what you previously said. They're not going to do what happened to Mike Woodson with Larry Drew in Atlanta, where Larry Drew stuck a knife in his back and got Mike up out of there, and then we saw Larry Drew is not a good coach. I don't know how he still keep getting head coaching jobs. Go ahead, Chandler.
Well, it's all who you know. But, so, I mean, Mike Woodson, like you said, is a competent professional. He's an adult. So you now would have an adult in the room in that damn locker room, okay?
Right.
I like, you know what, I wouldn't mind Woodson being the head coach of the Knicks again. I wouldn't mind it. I don't think he should have been fired when he was, but I understood why it happened.
Right.
Okay, he had to take the hit because he was in charge, and the team, they basically gave him a trash team at that point. But I would love to see Mike Woodson get another job. I